wins for Morocco and Egypt over in the Africa Cup of Nations qualification phase. They got their campaign off to the perfect start, but can they make it 2 wins out of 2? We're going to take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today is the Africa Cup of Nations qualification round. It is round 2, match number 2. And of course, we've got some big wins for Nigeria, Ivory Coast. Even Cameroon got themselves off to a good win. But what's going to go on in the second round of games? We're going to take a look at that and much more in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe and your one-stop shop for AFCON, boys and girls, world football. We got it here. All under one Rooski, of course. Yeah, we're looking forward to this one to see who, of course, will get a little bit closer to securing their spot in the tournament for 2025. All right, then, folks. Now, before we jump into match number 2, we're going to take a little look back at the results and, of course, bring you back up to date with where we all are in the league tables and whatnot. So, here are those pickaroos. Mine are on the left, the real deal was on the right. Morocco, 4-1 win over Gabon. I went with a 3-1 win. Not too shabby there. Egypt, 3-0 winners over Cape Verde. I went with a 2-0 win. Mauritania, 1-0 winners over Botswana. I went with a 2-1. I'm looking pretty much fantastic right now, aren't I? Nigeria, 3-0 winners over Benin. 2-0 winners in my eyes. Togo with a 1-1 draw there. I went with a 1-0 win. Here it goes a little bit shitty here. Sierra Leone with a 0-0 win, a 0-0 draw against Chad. I went with a win. Ivory Coast, 2-0 winners over Zambia. 3-1 winners in my eyes. Democratic Republic of Congo with a 1-0 win over Guinea. I went with a 2-1 win the other way. Mali and Mozambique could not be separated. 1-1 draw. The Cameroonians picked up a 1-0 win over Namibia. I went with a 3-1 win. South Africa could only draw 2-2 against Uganda. And then Senegal. Bit of a banana skin there. Burkina Faso, 1-1 in the end. So those were my picks. Again, we would usually be looking at your picks right about now, but we are on the road, so it's a little bit difficult. So we'll bring you back up to date with a prediction. But be sure to keep on predicting to make it nice and spicy when we come back in October. But the tables do look like this as of right now. Tunisia up there with a win. Morocco, Central African Republic also with big wins. Egypt as well, they're up there. Nigeria, Algeria, and we got here Angola picking up wins. Sudan also. Ghana, again, a shambles for them so far. Ivory Coast with a big win as well. The Democratic Republic of Congo with a win. Guinea-Bissau also leading the charge in Group I. And then Cameroon, Congo, and Burundi all complete the pack with wins so far in their campaigns. Don't forget to get involved with the prediction league. Here is that link. It is 100% free. And yeah, we look forward to match number 2, which should be on the screen right about now. All right then, folks, here we go with, of course, a quick look at match number 2, part 2 for the Africa Cup of Nations qualification phase. On the screen should be a whole bunch of games, I think 14 of them. We're going to try and plough through them all with my predictions. So, without further ado, let's get cracking and head over to Gabon. Now, so we're going to take on Gabon, taking on Central African Republic, of course, who come into this on the back of a win. The pilot is just gearing up. He'll get there in a minute. But Gabon looking to bounce back from the opening day loss to Morocco. 4-1 they do, of course, coming into this. 42% form for Gabon right now. Just 1 win in the last 5 up against the Central African Republic side, who pick up 4 wins at the last 5. 75% form for them as well. Their one and only defeat was a 4-3 loss to Ghana. Of course, this match will take place at the Francis Stadium over in Gabon. So 4-3 was their last defeat, but a big win over Lesotho have given them the upper hand. Morocco, of course, demolished poor Gabon on this one. We don't have any odds on here, so we're going to have to go with my gut. And my gut says a 2-0 win for Gabon against the unbeaten Central African Republic. So we're going to start with that in, of course, Group B, round 2, babies. So now Botswana are in action up against Egypt, of course, coming at you on, where are we, the 10th of September, of course. Botswana coming into this on the back of a defeat, most recently against Mozambique. They weren't in action in the first round of games, so we'll see how they pan out in this game. 40% form for them at the moment, just 1 win in 6. We'll talk about that in a minute. Egypt on 58% form for them, unbeaten in the last 3 matches. They have played 4 times, these two nations, since 2013. Nothing for Botswana, 3 for Egypt. There's been 1 draw between the two sides. However, they have last played back in October 2019. It was in Egypt, and it was a 1-0 win for Egypt. The one and only match that has resulted in a draw was back in June 2013. Now, the Egyptians, 3-0 winners last time around against Cape Verde. That was back on September the 6th. to look and make it to try and make it back-to-back wins for them against Botswana side, who haven't won since they beat Somalia back in June 2024. Got no odds on this one, but my gut says it will be an Egyptian victory here, 2-0 win on the road over in Botswana. All right then, folks, let's take a look at the next game. It's Cape Verde up against Mauritania. That's right, over in Group C. It's Cape Verde on the back of a defeat up against Mauritania, also on the back of a defeat. Now, both sides have played once against each other back in 2024, and it was a 1-0 win for Cape Verde. It was in the Africa Cup of Nations. It was in the knockout stage back in January 2024. We're taking place at the National Stadium of Cape Verde. Would you Adam and Eve it? 50% form for them at the moment, up against a 25% form Mauritania. They, of course, lost to Senegal most recently. Did Mauritania, as for Cape Verde, picking up a 3-0 loss to Egypt. So both sides coming into this without scoring a goal. Mauritania actually haven't scored a goal since they beat Algeria in the Africa Cup of Nations back in January 2024. Bookies, no bookies on this one, so we're going to go with our gut. And my gut says it will be a victory for Cape Verde here, 2-1 win for them at their own gaff, to make it, give them their first win of the qualification phase for the AFCON. Next up, it is Rwanda. They're in action up against Nigeria. Of course, coming at you over in Group D. Rwanda, 67% form for them right now. Just one defeat in the last 6 up against Nigeria. Just one win in the last 4. 42% form for them. That one win was their last match against Benin, when they picked up a 3-0 win to give themselves a monstrous boost. Rwanda also coming into this unbeaten in the opening game, picking up a 1-1 draw against Libya on the bloody road. Now, they have played 2 times, these two sides, since 2005. Both of those games ending up in a draw, with the most recent match being back in January 2018. 0-0 it was, but the last time they played each other in Rwanda, I believe, was a 1-1 draw back in June 2005. Got no odds on this one, but you got to back the Super Eagles for sure. Going to go with a 2-1 win, taking place at the Amahoro National Stadium over in Rwanda. All right, folks, next up we have Benin taking on Libya, of course, coming at you at Group D. Benin up against Libya. Played twice since 2004, 1 win apiece. This match actually taking place over in the Ivory Coast. Benin looking to make it, or get back to winning ways. Of course, 50% form for them right now. They do come into this on the back of a loss. They picked up a loss against Nigeria back in September the 7th. Libya with that 1-1 draw against Rwanda over in Group D as well, looking to extend that unbeaten run, potentially against a Benin side who could be there for the taking. The last time these two sides played was in Benin. It was back in October 2005. It was a 1-0 win. Libya's one and only win coming against Benin when they were the hosts back in September 2004. We don't know odds here on this one, so we're going to have to go with my gut. And my gut says it will be a 1-0 win for Benin, that's right, against the runner play, maybe against Libya, and of course big win for them to boost their chances to qualify out of Group D. We're heading over to Liberia now as they take on Algeria over in Group E. Liberia, 75% form for them right now, unbeaten in at least the last 6 matches, so because Algeria's side just 1 defeat in the last 5, 58% form for them, of course. But Algeria coming into this on the back of a win, 2-0 win over Equatorial Guinea. That ain't no slouches, guys. That was back in September the 5th. As for Liberia, picking up a 1-1 draw away to Togo. Their last defeat, I'm going to try and scroll back the years here, the last defeat for Liberia was against Malawi back in November 2023. However, they are the draw specialists, drawing 3 of the last 4, with Algeria picking up back-to-back wins, picking up wins against Uganda and Equatorial Guinea. Now, the last time that these two sides played, it was in Algeria back in June 2021. It was a 5-1 win for Algeria. The last time they played, though, in Liberia, it was a 0-0 draw according to my data. So which way are we going to swing it? Well, we are going to go with a 3-0 win, a bit of a repeat, perhaps, of that last game. In fact, it was a repeat of a game they played back in June 2008. Algeria with a win, Liberia with the L. All right, let's head over to Zambia now as they take on Sierra Leone over in Group G. Both sides, not the greatest kind of form at the moment. Zambia haven't won in the last 7 matches, actually 6 matches, sorry. Sierra Leone haven't won any of the last 7 away matches. They're coming in on 33% form. However, unbeaten in the last 3 matches. They did pick up a draw last time against Chad. It was a 0-0 draw, of course, on September the 6th. Prior to that, draws against Burkina Faso and Djibouti. However, Zambia, it's looking grim for them at the moment. Haven't scored a goal since their 2-1 loss to Morocco way back in June 2024. That's losses to Tanzania, Kenya, Zimbabwe, Comoros and Ivory Coast without scoring a goal. So dizzy times for Zambia. Got no odds on this one, but I think I'm actually going with a 1-1 draw on this one. Point apiece, which means Zambia will score a goal. So it's going to be a 1-1 draw or a 0-0 draw, but either way, not the one for the faint-hearted. Next up, we have Chad up against Ivory Coast coming at you over in Group G. This match actually taking place over in Cameroon. Now, they have not played these two sides according to my data. Chad on 42% form for them right now without a win in the last 3. Up against the Ivory Coast side, who haven't lost in the last 9. Wow. They come into this on the back of a win over Zambia, 2-0 win. And they haven't conceded a goal in the last 3 matches. The last time they did concede was a friendly, looks like, against Uruguay back in March 2024. Chad, on the flip side, haven't scored a goal in 3 matches, but coming into this on the back of that 0-0 draw against Sierra Leone over in Group G. Taking place at the Stadio Armando Arriagado over in Cameroon. Which way are we swinging? We are going to swing for an away win here. Sierra Leone. Not on this one. That's not one I'm talking about Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast with a big fat 2-1 win on the road against Chad over in Group G. Next up, of course, we've got Guinea up against Tanzania over in Group H. Now, this match taking place, I believe, in the Ivory Coast. That's right, Guinea. 50% form for them right now up against the Tanzania side on 58% form with just 1 loss at the last 6 matches. Guinea, back-to-back defeats for them. Back-to-back games without a goal, with the last win coming way back in June as they beat Algeria 2-1 win in the World Cup qualification matches. Now, this match will take place at the Charles Conan Banning Stadium in the Ivory Coast, with Tanzania looking to, they got 3-4 clean sheets on the bounce, with wins over Mongolia, draws against Indonesia, win over Zambia, and of course a 0-0 draw most recently against Ethiopia, of course. So tight at the back of Tanzania, 58% form for them right now. Guinea, though, are going to be a bit of a stuff opposition, and the last match that these two sides played was a 2-2 draw in January 2021 in the Africa Cup of Nations Group D way back when. Going to go with what am I going with here? Guinea, 1-0 win, just a narrow win, of course, because Guinea have got the quality. Tanzania have got a nice defence, it appears to be. So I'm going to stick with the 1-0 win, which will be a shame for Tanzania for the moment. Next up, we got Mozambique up against Guinea-Bissau over in Group I. Now, Mozambique looking like a bit of a force to be reckoned with these days over in Africa. 58% form for them right now, just 1 defeat in the last 6 up against the Guinea-Bissau side. Unbeaten in the last 4, 50% form for them over the last 6. Now, they have played twice, these two nations, since 2018. 2 draws on the spin. Will it be 3? Well, it could very well be. 2-2 draws as well, Desmond 2-2s for both of these matches. The most recent taking place in Guinea-Bissau back in March 2019. They also played in the same sort of get-up here in Mozambique back in September 2018. It was also a 2-2 draw. In fact, Mozambique commences on the back of a draw with a 1-1 draw against Mali. A difficult game that was. Meanwhile, Guinea-Bissau with that 1-0 win over Eswatini with their last defeat coming up against, when was the last defeat? Against Sudan back in March 2024. Big wins though over Egypt, or at least a draw over Egypt. So there ain't no slashes either, Guinea-Bissau. No odds on this one, but we're going to go with a draw again, a point apiece. Match taking place over in South Africa. Next up, we do have, what do we have? Eswatini up against Mali. That's right, going to be another ding-dong classic to look forward to in match day number 2. Eswatini coming into this on the back of a defeat up against Mali, who do come into this on the back of a draw, but they've never played each other, according to my eyes. Eswatini have not won in the last 7 matches, and they haven't won in the last 16 home matches. So coming into this in pretty woeful form. Taking place at the Estadio di Sempento. Mali, though, 50% form for them right now, just 1 defeat in the last 5. However, 3 matches without a win. They've drawn a couple, lost 1, but they drew the last match against Mozambique back in September the 6th. As for Eswatini, back-to-back 1-0 losses. They haven't scored a goal since they lost to Mauritius way back in June 2024. Yeah, it looks like Eswatini are going to be pissing in the wind somewhat. I do have them scoring here. 2-1 win, though, for Mali to take to the house over at Estadio di Sempo. Next up, we got Zimbabwe up against Cameroon, of course. Match taking place, though, over in... Where are we? I think we're going to Orlando Stadium over in South Africa. I've got to find them. Zimbabwe take on Cameroon over in Group J. 42% form for Zimbabwe, just 1 defeat in the last 4. Up against the Cameroon side, just 1 defeat in the last 4. Also 58% form for them over the last 6. Now, these two nations have played 3 times since 2004. 2 wins for Cameroon, nothing for Zimbabwe, and 1 draw between the two sides. Most recently, though, it was a 1-0 win for Cameroon back in the Africa Cup of Nations back in 2021. The last time that they resulted in the draw was back in January 2017. Zimbabwe on the back of a 0-0 draw against Kenya. Back-to-back games now without scoring a goal for Zimbabwe. Cameroon, the 1-0 winners over Namibia to give themselves a perfect start over in Group J. I think that perfect start will continue, though, as Zimbabwe will be beaten. 2-0 win yet again, failing to find the back of the net, and Cameroon taking the 3 points to make it 2 wins out of 2. Staying in here in South Africa at the Orlando Stadium, it'll be Namibia up against Kenya, that's right, over in Group J. Namibia on 58% form for them right now, back-to-back defeats for them up against Kenya's side, also on 58% form, but just 1 defeat in the last 6. That's my Kenyan brothers, my fans. 4 times they played, 2 wins apiece, with both exchanging 1-0 victories back in the 2012-2013 season, with the most recent match at Namibia being a 1-0 win. And the last time they played in Kenya back in 2013 was also a 1-0 win. So yes, quite fine margins between these two sides, quite evenly matched as well. Namibia on the back of that 1-0 loss to Cameroon. Kenya up and running with a point so far with a 0-0 draw against Zimbabwe. Namibia's last victory was a 4-2 win over Mozambique. It might have been penalties. As for Kenya's last victory was a 2-0 win over Zimbabwe in the Cup back in July. Got no odds on this one, but I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. You might have seen it briefly. Again, sticking to my guns. It's quite an evenly matched match, this one. So we're going to go with a 1-1 draw on this one. And we head on over to South Sudan. That's right, as they take on South Africa. Of course, South Sudan looking to what they're going to try and do. They're trying to get back to winning ways. They haven't won in the last 7 matches against the South African side, unbeaten in at least the last 9. However, they have been the draw kings, picking up 4 draws out the last 6. Coming up to the Juba National Stadium over in South Sudan, I believe, over in Group K this match. Never played each other, these two sides, according to my data, but South Sudan with a 1-0 loss to Congo Republic most recently. Haven't scored a goal since a 1-1 draw against Togo back in June this year. South Africa with that 2-2 draw against Uganda. That last defeat, South Africa, was, oh goodness gracious me, when was their last defeat? 4-2 penalty shootout lost to Nigeria. Prior to that, if you take out that penalty thing, the last defeat was against Mali in the African Cup of Nations in the opening round of matches. Again, no odds on this one, but we're going to go with a 0-0 draw. They are the draw kings. They're us away from home, and I think it'll just be continue where they left off really. And South Sudan will make it a little bit difficult for them. But that's it. That's my predictions for the AFCON round 2 of matches. Be sure to get your own picks in as well using the link. It's right there on the screen, and hopefully we'll be back for match number 3 in October. And of course, we'll bring you back up to date with the Prediction League and more. But until then, that's it. Subscribe, smash the like, catch you later. But until then, we are done.